Fighting Illini Nation to listen for Fighting Illini sports this season on New Country 104.1. From every kickoff during football season to the closing horn of every basketball game, you'll hear them in Christian County and surrounding area on your home for Fighting Illini sports, New Country 104.1. Follow the orange and blue and go Illini.
Brought to you by Prairie Farms Dairy, Bob Ridings Pana, Aaron's Rent to Own, and Adam Jeffrey with Craig's Realtors, both in Taylorville.
The Christian County Health Department offers COVID, flu, and RSV vaccines at their new location, 730 North Pawnee, across from Taylorville Junior High School. High dose and regular flu shots can be received together with COVID and RSV vaccines. That means you can get all your vaccines in a single convenient visit. Call them for an appointment at 217-824-4113. That's 824-4113. The Christian County Health Department, protecting our community's health one vaccine at a time.
Matt Corso here, proud to now be a part of the Kaufman Realty and Auction team right here in Taylorville. Let my over 20 years of real estate and auction experience work for you. Click my icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM, AM, FM, and online on the WTIM mobile app and Amazon Alexa is your ag information station. With over 8 hours a day of agriculture programming and our own local farm broadcaster. Tune in to WTIM, your ag information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM and your morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first alongside Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and our guest in this segment is Lisa Peterson, nutrition and wellness educator with the University of Illinois Extension. Lisa, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's to you as well. And it's a little cold, but the sun is shining, so there's nothing to be upset about today. Lisa, we are thinking about how to stay active in these winter months. And I know that there's something big coming up for you. Would you be able to delve into that a little bit for us?
I'm really excited about this. So me and another nutrition and wellness educator a little further north of me are doing a virtual program. We're going to be doing a class called Step Into the New Year, a virtual walking club. So it'll actually be every Wednesday from January 15th through February 19th, and it'll be from 12 to 12:45. So it is a virtual walking club, which is a little bit more unique. And how we structure these is we spend the first kind of 20 minutes checking in on goals. So our first class is setting those fitness goals.
Okay.
And then we give you little tips and tricks throughout these classes. So like we'll do the first one be kind of the benefits of being active and setting your why. And then we send you a little video and you do a little walking video with us. So you don't have to have your cameras on. We tell you can turn them off, but it is kind of fun. It's a little way to stay active and hopefully help hold you accountable. So that's the idea of it, is that we're doing this every Wednesday, again, January 15th through February 19th. You log in, and if you have questions about using Zoom, our virtual platform, or anything, always call our office. We'll walk you through the steps to get you on there. A lot of people call them from their phones. And then, again, we talk for the first 20 to 30 minutes, and then we give you that time to be active. And it could be in your office. It could be at home. You could be in the lunchroom at work. But it's kind of a fun way to get you going in the new year and help kind of, again, that support that's going to help you be active.
Sure. And sometimes that's all you need is that external motivation. And so to have a little bit of that on your side is awfully nice. And so it's running from 12 to 12:45. Yeah. Now, are you logging the walking miles at any time, or is it just during that specific time then?
Yep. So you can be as active as you want, obviously beyond us. We're not going to be watching how long or how far you're walking. So again, these videos are like 10-minute little videos. So it's more just, we say there's research behind it to show 10 minutes of activity is beneficial to your health. So it's just a little way to get you started. This is great for somebody who's not usually very active. Of course, consult your doctor before being any type of activity or doing any type of activity. But this is kind of a fun way to start. And it's a good way, again, you have other people who are also looking at setting goals.
Right.
So that's kind of the fun of it. Again, it's only 12 to 12:45. So we do want to give you, if you do have a lunch break and you got to get back to work, give you about a 15-minute window there. But it'll be me and Susan, and we'll, of course, be providing you research-based information all on nutrition and health and kind of stress management. We're going to talk about hydration, staying hydrated, as well as fueling. So what do I eat when I'm active? Things along those lines. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it. These are always fun classes. Yeah, we're your cheerleaders with Extension. We want you to succeed.
Well, that's awesome. You'd be an excellent cheerleader, might I add. But When it comes to getting people motivated
Yeah.
to work out or to take
Mhm.
care of themselves, it is kind of it's not a one-sided battle. It's not
Yeah.
just exercise. It
Yeah.
is that diet. It is that food.
Mhm.
How do you what is your role in also kind of helping establish a diet maybe for others, or maybe establish that plan? I'm sure it's outside of just this walking club. You're available at all times to do so. Could you
Yeah.
explain a little bit of that for me?
Yeah, so within my position, we do a lot of community nutrition classes, and that's kind of the beauty of it. I love partnering. A lot of us in the community and the organizations we serve are here to help you with better health. And the one beauty of the University of Illinois Extension is that we are a research-based institution. We are unbiased. We give you information that we know has been studied. I'm very excited. We're doing a couple classes starting out this year, kind of talking about things about gluten-free and what that means. And we're there to provide you the information to make a decision. So that's kind of the beauty of Extension and my role. I do a lot of cooking classes. So I love the idea of getting people together, cooking together, and being able to taste food and then decide if they would make it at home. Because again, it's that social. You're getting with other people who love to cook or new to cooking, and then you're tasting something that maybe you wouldn't normally buy in the grocery store. So that's one of my favorite parts of my job is we try to encourage that behavior change. How can I be eating things that are good for me, that make me feel great, that I don't feel like it's a burden to be healthy?
Absolutely. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you're well aware of the costs that surround
Mhm.
food.
Yep.
What would you say to those that say, well, my hurdle to eating healthier is the cost of it? How do you maybe mitigate that? How do you
Yeah.
maybe budget for that?
Yeah.
What are some recommendations from you in that regard?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways you can frame that. One of the ways when people get really direct about it is think about medical bills. So those are typically way more expensive than that food.
Yes.
But yes, the cost of food is definitely a concern, especially in our rural areas. We always encourage local food because, again, you're supporting our local businesses. But again, the canned vegetables, the frozen vegetables, there's certain things you do want to watch for with them. But the frozen, for example, are almost or just as even to the fresh stuff, because they're frozen at peak quality. So that's something too, when we talk about, I can't eat fruits and vegetables, they're expensive. Look at the other options. You do have frozen, you have canned. That stuff is still good for you. Eating in season. I know we're in winter, that's a little bit harder, but there's still options out there. And that's what we do, especially in the winter. I do a lot of classes where I still try to find the local foods or finding things where it's canned or it's frozen. It's just as good for you. And so that's always probably one of the biggest issues. And again, that stuff is typically less expensive.
Okay.
So yeah, eating on a budget is definitely something we're taking a big initiative in 2025.
Absolutely. And I was not actually aware of the fact that not only is a frozen or a canned vegetable is the same nutritional value.
It's very, very close.
Really?
Canned, you got to be a little bit careful because of sodium, and there could be added sugar in there. And frozen is pretty even with nutrition.
Wow.
So that's one thing where we're telling you, make a smoothie. There's other ways you can get it in there. It doesn't have to be fresh.
Let's talk about hydration for a moment,
Yeah.
because that is something that I will tell you, there are some days I do better than others.
Yep.
What is the actual recommendation from Lisa Peterson in terms of what I should be drinking in a day?
So it's not from me. It's from the Institute of Medicine. There is no recommendation that 8 glasses a day isn't something that was ever that was a big thing we always debunk.
Yes.
So when we talk about it, the Institute of Medicine actually puts out a recommendation for beverage, for your recommendation for how much beverages you have in a day. For males over the age of 18, it is, I believe, 13 cups a day. The best way to tell is urine. I mean, it's not the prettiest or the thing you most think of, but if it's clear, you're well hydrated. Like we say that if it starts looking dark, that's where you need to add a little bit more water in there. But it's beverage recommendations. The thing is, they recommend 13 cups. Again, that could be water, it could be juice, it could be coffee. That's in there too. People often think that's going to dehydrate me. That's not true.
Okay.
So it's things along those lines. Pop is not included, or soda, I guess, in the state, but that's not included in there. So the added sugar ones, but it's overall beverages. So total for men is 13. For women, it's about 9. But again, urine color is going to be the best indicator of hydration.
And I'm sure it depends on your size and how much mass you're carrying or whatever the case may be.
Physical activity. Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
I would love to know about sugar from you.
Sure.
And the reason for that is I think I've heard a lot of people that are thinking about maybe more ways to cut out some of the processed sugars or other things.
Yeah.
How could you successfully do so without it maybe experiencing any crashes or anything like that? How could you successfully cut some of that out of your diet?
So one thing to remember is there's 2 types of sugar. There's added sugar and then there's natural sugars. I do a lot usually with our Health Rocks program and youth, and we talk about beverages and sugars, because there's not all sugars are bad. And that is a big myth we have out there, that I can't eat sugar. Sugar is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are what your brain needs to succeed. So when we talk about cutting out added sugar, it is reading those labels. So the nice thing is the FDA has now changed their labels to include added sugar.
Okay.
And we try to limit that whenever possible. Again, you want those natural sugars. Going for those fruits, those are a big one with natural sugar. Milk, lactose, that's natural sugar in there. So that's more the ones you want to aim for. Again, everything in moderation. So trying to cut down on it, trying to switch out some of those, maybe really if you were a big chocolate fan. We're not saying don't eat any of it. We're saying maybe add an apple with that chocolate. Like try adding a few more of those natural sugars in there where you're still getting the carbs. You're still getting grains are another one that we have a lot of natural sugars in. So things along those lines. So those small changes. Again, we're not telling you don't eat any candy. We're telling you cut down on it or swap it out. Have something with it with your candy. We do that a lot during Halloween. We say try having an apple with a caramel, or that if you love chocolate, have a strawberry with it. So mixing it up, so you're still getting it, but you're having some of the good stuff that has those vitamins and minerals with it as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would like to know then, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but are there any misconceptions around salt and sodium?
Mm-hmm.
You hear a lot of people say it's bad for you. Then the next person says, well, I've got to have more of it. What is roughly the amount of intake you should have, and what effects does it actually have on your health?
Yeah, so when we talk about blood pressure is the biggest thing. A lot of people have hypertension, which is related to high blood pressure. And that is usually one of the signs of that is a lot of salt in your diet. Sodium, the general recommendation is about 2,300 milligrams a day, and that is about a teaspoon of salt a day. The problem with it, and people are like, well, I took the salt shaker off the table. That's perfectly fine. Most of the salt we're intaking actually comes from processed foods. So pizza, for example, is a big one with processed foods. So it's things like that. Sodium, of course, too much sodium in your diet. If you're having too much of it, that's when your blood pressure is going to go up. Okay. So that's really, and we do classes on that. I actually have one coming up here in February with Heart Health Month, getting into that a little bit more. And again, your tongue, you can adjust to the taste of it. So if if I eat something that's very, very salty and I notice it, you might not, because your salt is an acquired taste. So, and we just had that over the holidays. We made something with an au jus and it was super salty. And one of my family members said, I don't taste the salt at all. It's because they eat a lot more salt than I do. And their tongue is just acquired to it. And I am not. So that's kind of a cool thing where we say, cut down slowly. Don't cold turkey yourself on salt. You'll be very unhappy very fast with food.
I did not realize that was a part of it. And I know, of course, your brain is a very powerful thing and does a whole lot of things that can either trick you or help you. But I would love in this second segment to talk a little bit about those cooking classes. And thank you for sharing those things, because these are more personal questions maybe than I would like to admit. You are listening to the WTIM Morning Show. It's brought to you by not only People's Bank and Trust, but also by Landmark of Taylorville. We'll be right back with Lisa Peterson. She is the nutrition and wellness educator with the University of Illinois Extension on WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn, beans, and Chicago wheat all steady at this hour. March corn up 1.5, 455.5. May corn up a penny, 463.5. July corn, 466 3/4, also up a penny. January beans down 1 3/4, 985 3/4. March beans down half a penny, 994. May beans 1004.5 down 1 1/4. March Chicago wheat 532 down 4 1/4. May wheat down 4 1/4, 544 1/4. January bean meal down $1, 291.60. January bean oil 40.84 down 27 cents. Livestock market, January feeders 268.70 up 312. February live cattle up 215, 195.85. February lean hogs up 232, 81.80. Energy market, February crude oil up 51 cents, 73.83. A noon close today. Jim Taylor, RFD. Radio
Springfield Clinic Taylorville Walk-In is open from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. Here's Dr. Pavi Gill with more details.
Our walk-in clinic is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday to address your minor illnesses and injuries. No appointment necessary. Whether you need a quick checkup or urgent care, just walk in and get the care you need when you need it.
There you have it. For convenient same-day care, visit Springfield Clinic Taylorville Walk-In at 600 North Main Street.
This is Dwayne Wheeler, the police chief of the city of Taylorville. As a law enforcement officer, I've seen the impact that depression and suicide have on many people. Many times, those contemplating suicide endure considerable suffering and distress. But there is help. If you feel depressed or lonely, there are many resources to help you. You can call a trusted relative, friend, or minister, or call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. That is 1-800-273-TALK. All of us are here to help you. Thank you.
Your nonprofit organization can attract people to your fundraising event by reaching our 7 groups of listeners and readers. Hi, I'm Teresa Nelson, an account manager here at Miller Media Group. Part of my job is helping nonprofit organizations promote their activities. We offer our lowest rate for radio commercials and offer 1 free ad for each ad purchased, plus a discounted rate on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Find out more on our Miller Media Group nonprofit advertising campaigns by contacting me, Teresa Nelson, at 824-3395. That's 824-3395.
To learn more about Rolling Meadows Senior Living in Taylorville and the apartments they have available, click on their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Jansen's Heating and Air is the home of Dr. Comfort, focusing on customer care for heating and air conditioning across Central Illinois for some 35 years. Find out their services, specials, and coupons by clicking their icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, in the second segment of this interview, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, alongside Landmark of Taylorville. I'm Grayson Bauman, and our guest in this second segment, as well as that first, is Lisa Peterson, nutrition and wellness educator with the University of Illinois Extension. Lisa, we've been talking about dieting. We've been talking about moderation and balance and cutting these things out. Where can they maybe go to learn some of these things outside of this interview, maybe?
Yes, I am very, very excited. Of course, you can always go to our website, illinois.edu/CJM, to find all of our programming going up in the 4 counties. But so because of the snow and all the fun weather we've had, we have a Healthy Habits and Fresh Herbs Exploring Diet Trends class coming up, and that'll be February 3rd from 5 to 7 p.m. This is in collaboration with Taylorville Memorial Hospital. So we've done these before, and these are always great programs. I'm coming in and talking all about kind of setting yourself up for success in the new year, that healthy habit side of it, as well as we're working in some cooking, because of course we got to do some cooking. So we're going to cook a little bit using fresh and dried herbs and how to go about using those. And it's nice because we have moved this to February. So now we are a little bit more in Heart Health Month, where we are looking at how do we cut sodium without cutting flavor. This class will also explore diet trends. So that's why I really like this for the new year, because we do talk about kind of paleo, keto, trying to think of some of the other ones we get into. Whole30, I know I'll talk about. I'll talk about intermittent fasting. We'll go through the pros and cons. And then we'll also talk about the Mediterranean diet, the DASH diet, TLC. I work our way through them and tell you about the good things that we're seeing in the research, as well as some of the bad things. But that gives you an idea from a research-based source of what we're seeing with these diets and what we're telling you the harm it could cause. So again, we're not there to push a diet on you. We're there to provide you the information and the tools to make your own decision. So that's kind of the idea of it. Again, we're going to hopefully set you up for success, talk about some of these really popular diets, as well as we're going to work in small groups as I usually do, and are going to do a few recipes with some fresh and dried herbs. And as usual, you walk around, do a little taste testing. And again, the cooking is very light. I said we do a lot of the prep for you, but we wanted to expose you a little bit to the cooking side.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cooking those healthier meals is just a great start. We've got the walking club to get you even just 10 minutes of exercise, just get you moving here in this new year. Lisa, is there anything else that we need to touch on as we start to wrap things up here?
Yeah. So for the Healthy Habits and Fresh Herbs class, I do want to mention, again, it's February 3rd, 5 to 7, Taylorville Memorial Hospital. If you want to sign up, it is completely free. So, but we do ask that you register with us, just so I know any allergies going into it. And you can call our office at 217-287-7246, or you can go to our website to register. We'd love to have you. It is a really fun class. It is pretty interactive. I don't make you sit and listen to a lecture for the entire 2 hours. So we'll get you up and moving. And same with the virtual walking club. You can either call our office or go to our website and register online that way.
Well, Lisa, I would say if somebody could make food fun, it would probably be you. For just one moment, I've got another question about diets. In the last year, a couple of years or so, what changes have you seen in those diets? I can remember things like Atkins or other things that have kind of gone by the wayside, and now keto and these other things have kind of come about. What changes have you noticed?
We have seen an uptick of the diets that we think are a little bit more, they're more attainable, which is that Mediterranean diet. And that is really exciting. The Mediterranean diet is an easier one to follow. It does more encourage lots of fruits and vegetables, which is what we want. It also, the one we've seen a little bit more, I've heard more questions about, it's the DASH diet, which is the dietary approaches to stopping hypertension, which is still our #1 killer, heart diseases among Americans. And I love getting those questions because it's people looking into these diets. How do I follow them? Do you have suggestions of where and when and sources, recipes? And we want you to come to us with those questions because we're going to provide you with we will provide you with trusted information.
And I believe that to be true. Well, Lisa Peterson, nutrition and wellness educator with the University of Illinois Extension Office, sat down with us today here on the WTIM Morning Show. A big thank you to Lisa, as well as People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the WTIM Shelbyville Morning Show.
Your information station, WTIM.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and Nokomis.
Ex-presidents among dignitaries at Washington National Cathedral for Mr. Carter's state funeral. Earlier, his flag-draped casket was